Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Ryan at Athletic Conceptual Training. We have a great with us. He allowed me to come down to his gym and do a personal interview. David Timmons.
Hey, what's up?
Thank
What's
you,
up?
man. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it's all
Man,
good. It's all good.
it's an honor to be
All
able to
good.
be here right now. We're just a couple days away from Oakland, Texas Hall of Fame ceremony, which is I didn't even know we were going to be here today, but this is like perfect timing.
Right on.
But
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit and talk with me.
yeah. Right on.
You got an amazing gym here. We got two parts. I mean, it's closed off and private. You know, you got have your business in the street.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love the setup that you have here. Tell me a little bit more about what brought you to Emeryville to open it.
You know, we've been here since 2001.
Yeah,
So we survived a lot of ups and downs with
yeah.
the market and all that. But what brought me here was my teammate at Cal, Ken Williams.
Okay.
He's the school record holder still in the triple jump. So Ken got into the fitness business probably 25, 30 years ago.
Got it.
And I left FedEx. I was working with them for quite some time, and just ran its course. So I ran into Ken. And I said, yo, the first time since you graduated, man, I don't have a job. He goes, man, don't worry about it, man. He goes, I got you. He goes, man, I'm starting this business.
Okay.
So come on over here and just see what I do and see if you like it, and man, I'll put you on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I kind of hesitant, but he made sense. We went down the skates at the bay, and he got a napkin. He goes, how much money were you making? And I said, this amount. He goes, if you get a certain amount of clients, charging this much, you can make the money that you just walked away from, you can make that in less time.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't know if people are going to, you know,
Right.
I have no experience at it. He goes, Timmons, if you study medicine for as long as you ran track and field and studied track and field, would you be a medical doctor? And I said, yeah. He goes, man, you know so much more than people know just walking the streets. He goes, bro, trust me. And I jumped in with 2 feet, and we started. I have these two buildings here, but we actually started in the condos, the loft right across the way,
Oh,
like
okay.
10 steps here,
Yeah.
right? And it was 3 different floors. It was 3 floors, and man, we just threw some equipment in there and started letting people know what we did, and we got a huge following, and it was back.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with him. You, with your wealth of knowledge in the track world, how could we not,
Right,
come
right.
to you for these trainings?
Yeah,
Um,
it's interesting because you really don't recognize your value
yeah,
right off the bat until you see it in action, and then
yeah.
once the ball got rolling, it was full steam ahead. So,
That's awesome. That's one of the things that I've been really picking up on with these interviews from greats like yourself is that your bar was set so high, and in doing that, you were able to achieve a lot without trying. You know, all of the accolades that came along. I mean, you're a 1981 state 400 meter champ, uh, 4x4 relay time. God, ladies and gentlemen, tell them that time.
you know,
Oh,
it was a lot of, I ran a lot of relays, but my fastest split was 40 for 9, and on the relay it was at nationals in 1982 in Provo, Utah, where we ran fast enough to qualify for an All-American status.
that's
Yeah, and that was my freshman year. Yeah, I had a great freshman year.
as a freshman. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like you said something about me getting these accolades without even trying. I think running was like a natural for me, right?
Yeah.
So I thought I was a basketball player, and then that didn't work out, and so I started running track,
Mhm.
and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I learned another.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different things, right?
Yeah.
So when you say it was easy, when you run in 12 400s, that's not easy, right?
True.
But people typically see the 45, 46 seconds that you run on Saturday, but they don't see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday workouts, right? Which is where you actually earn
Yeah.
that. Earn that time.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I really really like about this opportunity as well is getting to know that in-depth knowledge. I really feel like student athletes, people who aspire to be athletes, um, need to see more and understand more from people like yourself of what it takes to actually be great. Today we have, it's all about the clickbait, you know,
True.
so
Yeah. True.
those, that short time is highlighted, but sitting down and having a conversation and learning from someone like yourself on what it takes to actually build and get to that
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
time,
true.
I mean, this is invaluable, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm just so excited. We got your brand here. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Again, the Ken Williams, he started this in 1993, and I came around in '01,
Okay.
but we started the physical gym in '01, where we had our own space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it was just a dream, and a dream is just a dream until you put some action behind it,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we did. You know, like I said, we pulled our resources and got some equipment and just went at it. And people like our style.
Yeah.
People like their style. So they say,
There you go.
if you put a good product out there,
Yeah.
people are gonna come and
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
So
Learning a little bit more about you. You went to Oakland High School. What was that about? How did you navigate that?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Got it.
And I came here in the summer of 1979 to visit my father, my brother, and some family, cousins, and stuff like that. So I came August of '79, and again, I fell in love with Oakland.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually went to Castlemont my very first year,
Okay.
and that didn't work out. There's some trials and tribulations there. So
Yeah.
I decided to transfer to Oakland High.
Okay.
And so I did my junior year at Castlemont. And that's where I started running track for the first time as a junior in high school.
Wow.
And I moved over to Oakland High, and I got involved with a system over there and an environment, a culture over there that fit perfectly
Yeah.
with who I was at the time. I was still learning about the sport, and I was lucky to get paired up with my coach, Dave Ponnis. He wasn't the head coach. Earl Love was the head coach, but Dave Ponnis was the middle distance guy.
Okay.
And Dave was just coming out of SF State, had his master's in exercise physiology, and so he was there, and he got this raw piece of clay in me, and he tried out some things, and they just worked perfectly. I mean, everything wasn't perfect, but
Yeah.
in the big picture, it worked out perfectly for me.
Yeah.
You know?
That must have been amazing to come in so fresh and, like you say, raw, and be able to learn and get these different fresh new techniques from someone who spent time learning and developing themselves to that.
Correct.
I mean, tell me a little bit more about that experience. Was the training difficult? Was it?
The training was difficult, but when you're on a team and the intangibles for being on a team are the things that actually kept me working toward getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you create lifelong friends. When you're running and throwing up and winning, losing, going through the ups and downs of any sport with a group of guys, you guys have common goals, and so you work toward that. And so at Oakland High, we have some dogs, man. I mean, and I was happy to be there, not knowing then, but now, because there were people that were better than me, that had run faster than me, that had beat me my junior year.
Yeah.
The guys that beat me were at Oakland High.
Got it.
Andre Williams, who was a super sophomore at the time, and Andre went on to Stanford and did some great things in the business world. But just having these guys where I had to chase and chase and chase, that kept me on that trajectory of improving like every week.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect environment. My coach, like I said, Dave Ponnis, he was experimental,
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have anything to compare it to.
Right.
Because, I mean, I just run like the year before.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a 12-month calendar year. It was like June.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I was still absorbing, soaking up, and I was believing everything that he said because everything up to that point was working out, right? So, I had to take an extra gym class because of some things that happened. So that worked out because I was running Lake Merritt every morning for my first period.
Good old Lake
Right?
Merritt.
And my brother, 'cause I say my brother my senior year. So my brother worked in Berkeley, so he would get off, drop me off on Park, and get back on the freeway, go to work. Then I go to the school 7:15, 7:30 before school started. Put my clothes on, ran down the hill, hit a lake. Sometimes I hit two lakes. As I got in better and better shape, I can hit two lakes in about 40 some odd minutes. And then I run back up the hill. So what that was doing, unbeknownst to me, it was creating this incredible base.
Yeah.
Right? So that when we got on the track in February, when we got on the track, I had this incredible base already set up. And it was fun for me because I didn't really have a lot of friends. They were just the guys on the track team and some of the ladies on the track team. So my first period, I was just into myself, right?
Yep.
I didn't think that it was anything wrong with going down to the lake and running a lake or two in the morning. It gave me solace, it mellowed me out. I did something for myself at the beginning of the day. So if you win the first hour of the day or two, then you can win the day. And that's what I was doing. So my whole experience at Oakland High was amazing because I was in the best shape of my life at that point.
Yeah.
And I started getting really good at my sport and, started getting a little fanfare and,
That's a great place to be.
Yes, yes. And winning always trumps everything else, right?
Yes.
So, and I did a lot of winning my senior year.
Yeah. With running, having that regimen and being that disciplined, it takes that mindset of continuing and determination and internal drive. Was something going on at that time that inspired you to run the lake and get into yourself that way?
Sure. Yeah. I'm from a huge family. I have 12 brothers and sisters.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So my everyday in Seattle was, like it or not, it was a competition.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a competition for mom's affection. It was a competition for the respect from your older brothers and sisters. It was a competition for the younger brothers and sisters who looked up to you. You had to walk a certain way and be a certain way. And not knowing that is what I was doing. It was feeding me.
Yeah.
Right? It was feeding me. So I come down to Oakland and my cousin Alan Goodlow, he was with the Raiders. He was in the Raiders camp.
Okay.
He's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And so he would take me to Oakland Tech, and I would run basketball games with his boys, and they're like 10 years older than me. Yeah. So I was always the youngest dude. Yep. And these guys never let up on me. And I was like 135 pounds, so they were instead of whining, my cousin was like, bro, to shoot the rock or whatever it was, right? So whenever I was with these dudes, man, they were just like, yo, young dude, hey, if you're gonna hang with us, it's like this. Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. So it was like that. Yeah. So when it came time for me to compete with guys on my level in my sport, I was ready. Right. I was ready.
Like, get out of here, little boy.
Yeah. So it was looking back, it was a really good time. Right, it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean that eventually led to a full ride to Berkeley. What was that feeling? That's something I know.
Again, my family is military. My dad's Air Force, 23 years. My brother was in the Air Force. My brother Robert was in the Army. My sister Kathy was in the Army. My brother Daryl was in the Navy. And so I had that in my system. So I hadn't even taken the SAT my senior year because I was going to service, right? And then because of this whole perfect storm,
Yeah.
I started running fast. And then my coach was putting me in the fastest races at an invitational race. So you get seated by your time, right? And so I had a pretty decent time. I was running 49
Okay.
and 48. And so my coach would say, yo, this guy's a 47 guy. I was like, he's lying. But I got in those races,
Yeah.
and I turned out to be a 47 guy. Now, I'll tell you a story. My brother, Junior, my oldest brother, he and one of his buddies, his service buddy, they said, hey, if you run, cause at the time I had a 49.1, something like that, was my best time. Because if you run 48 anything in the 400, in the open 400, we'll give you $100. So back in 1981, $100, man, I was like, $100, I got it, right? I go out next week, I run 48.8.
Okay.
And then he goes, okay, good. Get me with the 100. He goes, you run 47, we'll give you another 100. And now it's like, I gotta get that 47. I gotta get that 47. I gotta get that 47. So we ran into Bruce Jenner Classic, I think it was,
Yeah.
or it might have been the Quicksilver Classic. But I busted 47. And I was just trying not to lose, right? But then that $100 was like, and now senior prom is in May.
Okay.
Right? So
all right.
I wanted that money so I could get,
Yep.
my tux and my rental car and all that. So I ran 47. So he says, yo, you run 46. I ran 46. And, we'll give you another 100.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And OAL championships, right?
Yeah.
I ran 46.7 hand time. And at the time, that was the fastest time in the nation for 18 and under. Although I lost it like a couple of weeks later, this dude named Daryl Robinson up in the state of Washington, where I just came from.
Right.
He busted like crazy, like 44.8 or something like that. He was amazing. So, but I got that 46, excuse me, and I got another $100.
Okay.
So now I'm sitting on $300, right? It's cool.
Yep.
And he's like, if you run 45 anything, we're getting 100. So here comes state meet, right? So I ran 47.09, 47.06, something like that.
Okay.
We had the same time, but clearly the photo finish shows that I won, right? So then we go to the 4x400 relay.
Okay.
And Berkeley High set national records throughout the whole meet. That was the best high school meet, I think, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, Texas, I think that California 1981 state meet was the best. So Berkeley High, Kenny Robinson and crazy stupid Pete Richardson, who ran 147.60 something, I think, and set a national high school record, right? Pete's mother. Pete's auntie is married to my brother Junior, the one who gave me $100.
Yeah, okay.
So Pete and I were like competing throughout, although he's at Berkeley High.
Yeah.
We were competing with each other, like who's gonna run a fast time. So I would run, he would run. So Pete ran second leg, I think, on that relay, and man, they took off. And by the time I got
so amazing. I mean, just hearing about your time at Cal Berkeley and the competitiveness and just the natural ability to lock in and compete at a high level. I mean, my only other question is, what did you do with the $300? How'd you spend it on the?
Actually, that was still at Oakland High, because I actually ran 45.7 on the relay.
Okay.
And so I petitioned to my brother and his buddy, like 45 seconds. So they actually ended up giving me another $100. I had $400.
Okay.
Right. So I was able to get my tux. I was able to get the rental car. Yeah. Got a little something for her, a little flower and thing. So I walked in there feeling good. You know what I mean? Because of me. Yep. Right. I mean, I busted. I was working my butt off for it and all that. But yeah. So it was.
What kind of rental car did you get?
Man, it was a Buick Skylark. White with like blue leather interior, man. I thought I was rolling too, man. I had a little fake watch on. I was like, well, 18, fresh off of a California State Championship, and at that point, man, I was living the high life.
Yeah. Who was somebody from that between your high school to college career that you thought was your fiercest competition?
Oh man, there's a brother from Kenya who ran at Oregon State.
Yeah.
His name was Kashif Hassan. This brother, I never beat him. Never beat him. Man, I would take off. I always had a slower start, but the second half of the race was where I did most of my damage. So I would come off that turn, man, and I swear all I saw was his elbows and the bottom of his cleats, man. I never got that guy. Never. And some of my buddies now, you know, there's a joke. I don't know if you've seen that movie called Candyman. Like Candyman. You said 3 times you'll show up.
Yep.
They were walking around saying, Kashif Hassan. Right? I'm like 10, 15, 20 years later, even to this day, they're like, yo, man, have you seen Kashif Hassan? I'm like, all right, but yeah, he I don't know if I know he beat me at the Pac-10. I don't know if he won the Pac-10, though. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, so Kashif Hassan would be that one dude, man.
Man, that's
that
crazy.
one dude. I wonder where that brother is now, man.
Hey,
I hope he's still.
if you're looking at this video,
Kashif,
come out.
call me up, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you ended up being at Cal Berkeley and ended up being top 5 of all time in the 4x4 relay.
Yes, that was. I think we ran 3:02
Yeah.
in the 4x4, and that was at Provo, Utah.
Yep.
That was my freshman year again, and that whole freshman year, man, was just an amazing year. You know, I'm out on my own for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the dorms and all that, but just being responsible for everything from eating and washing clothes, going to school, no school bells ringing, they tell you to go to class.
Yeah.
You have to grow up, and I grew up on that campus.
Yeah.
And the group of guys there, everybody on that team, for the most part, was either the best on their high school team or near the best on their high school team. And just being around that confidence, right? That's what I miss the most about being on a team. Is like most of those guys were confident because of their accolades that they had earned. And just being up there. But then there's some older cats on the team that were just solid individuals, man. There's just quality dudes, man. Larry Cowling, Gary Kelly, Lloyd Gus, Carl Bonner, Jimmy Williams, Leonard Robinson. I mean, I can go on and on and on, man. But each and every one of those guys that I spoke about, man, that I just mentioned, they were in my ear.
Yeah.
You know, and you're good. Some of them were like, you haven't arrived, bro. You need to keep working.
Yeah.
And some of them were like, man, you did a good job so far, so good, right? Yeah. But just being part of that team, man, it's amazing. It set me up for who I am today.
That's awesome.
You know.
That's awesome. That really helps in developing you as a person and your confidence. Someone to hold you accountable, someone to build you up, someone to stand by you, feeling confident about your team.
Yeah, but also that person that put the mirror in your face too, because when you mess up, they won't break you down in public, but they'll pull you to the side and say, "Hey, freshman, you know that ain't cool." You know? I mean, I got your back, but we don't get down like that over here, man.
Right.
It's like, okay, all right, my bad, because I came in, I had a high level of self-esteem.
Yeah.
Some people call it cockiness, and some people call it whatever, but you need that, man, because that's never good when that's all that you have, when that's all that you get. But guys can pull me to the side. I remember I ran into one dude who had beat me through high school. He was a little older than me, maybe 7 or 8 years older than me. And my freshman year, I beat him in an all-comers meet, right? And so I came across the line, and I was like, man, I looked back, I was like, yeah. And then, man, as soon as I crossed the line, I was like, man, what you know, and he was like, hey, man, you don't show people up like that, man. You win gracefully. You lose, you don't even run around like that. Right. When you lose, don't run around like that when you win. I mean, you shake people's hands, get raised, you can go back to the dorms or wherever and like, yo, man, I got in it, right?
Right.
But never show people up. So
Yeah.
my freshman year, man, they were checking me like left and right. So
Yeah. That's. I mean, it seems like your story all along. You got success young, but then you were also taught by good, solid individuals on how to be a professional and how to be a great
hmm
from high school all into college. That that's amazing. A lot of people and a lot of kids don't get that early as well.
right, yeah. You know, I'll tell you, man, my mother, God rest her, she was, she had 13 kids, man.
Yeah.
And so she was always, she taught right and wrong, right? I mean, nobody's perfect. She had her thing too, but when I left the house at 16, I knew right from wrong. And it was because of her and my other brothers and sisters too.
Yeah.
And then I walked into a situation where people were looking out for me. People saw my talent. People saw just my personality, and and they were willing to help.
Yeah.
And helping is a lot of times helping is like checking you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know?
That's I don't know if this is just an Oakland thing or because I can only talk about my experience, but it seems like it happened with you as well. When you encounter someone who you know has an opportunity to be great in the community, you naturally protect that guy and keep him away from certain things like, nah, go over there.
Yeah.
Or,
I do that every day here. I don't train track and field guys for the most part, uh, but I train young athletes, a lot of baseball players, because I have a setup over in the gym where we have a big baseball following,
yeah.
right? And so what I do for them is I teach them speed, agility, and quickness.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't train just the physical side, right? I train the whole athlete,
Yeah.
and young men and young women, right? And I let them know hard work trumps everything, right? The worst athlete to me, and I tell them all this, like I said, the worst athlete is that athlete that 75% of their max is better than most people's 100%. So that's all they give me is 75%. I said, no, we don't get out with that, man.
Right.
I said, I need 100% all the time. I'm not a 50-50 guy. I want 100% of what you got because you're going to get 100% of me. And that's what I try to instill in a lot of my athletes. I have swimmers. I had a fencer who was at the Olympic trials years ago. Ice hockey guy, a lot of baseball guys,
Yeah.
right? Soccer guys. I had a few track and field guys, but the common thread that I told them all, like, you can learn from your mistakes, right? Hard work will get you through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I said, if I have an athlete, 5 tools, they can run, they can throw, they can hit, they can do whatever. They can do all 5, same height, same weight. Why? Who am I going to, or how am I going to choose between the two, right? And effort. That's what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you walk out to your position, or you're late to work out all the time, you're late to practice all the time, and you're still performing at a certain level, and here this guy is, or here this young lady is, and they come on time, they come ready to go, they come early, they're warmed up, they're ready. If I have to make a choice,
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose that one right there because of effort. And so that's what I try and leave them with. Like, there's 350, 400 million people in this country.
Right.
So what's gonna make you stand out?
Hey, hard work, big skill.
All those guys that say, hey, freshman, you don't show people up, did you? Right?
Yeah.
You train the whole athlete, right? And that's what I do. So yeah. I mean, if I see somebody who's uber talented, it's like, I treat him the same as I treat somebody who's eager.
Yeah.
Might not be super talented, but the work ethic is there.
Yeah.
I treat them all the same.
Yeah.
Right? I give it all to them. I give it all the same. And I don't cut corners, man.
Yes, sir.
I don't cut corners. I mean, I don't candy coat it. It's like, well, this is how you're viewed.
Well,
right.
Helps, especially someone who is talented and is less apt to take advice because they feel that they have the skill to turn it on at any time.
Right.
So I feel like sometimes those are the people who need that the most.
Yeah, because you can rest on your laurels, right? And if your support group, if you have one, if they're just yes, then that's not good.
Right.
That's not good. If you draw back the lens and look at the landscape versus the narrow look at the landscape, it's never good just to have one type of influence.
Yeah.
Right? Because you never know good if you don't know bad. You don't know,
right.
You don't know happy if you don't know sad,
yep.
and so on and so forth. Right? You got to have the peaks and valleys, and when you're in a valley, you got to know how to get out.
Yeah.
And when you at the top, you got to know how to stay there with dignity. And right, so yeah, it's a constant education. I mean, a lot of my clients, my younger clients, like you just met my daughter's friend, and then she called, "Hi, second dad," right? Because I treat her like she's my daughter as well, right? But it's always like teaching. I mean, every moment. If you're a teacher, and I am, every moment should be a teachable moment. If you, as the teacher, can see it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility. People come to me and they tell me some of their innermost secrets, right? And they got to be responsible with that information. I don't go blab it all out.
Right.
But also, if they come to me with something that's getting them, I mean, I take that opportunity to teach, right, as I know it. And I've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
12 brothers and sisters.
Yep.
That whole thing. But then I've been around the world. I've been to South America, I've been to Germany, and England, and Korea, and Finland, and I've been all over the United States, Mexico. I mean, so I don't come with like a small sample size.
Yep.
Right. Yep. I've learned to be objective early on in life, because sometimes you have 12 brothers and sisters, and not all of them will be super cool all the time.
Yeah.
Right. You might run into some not so cool people, but you have to look at them objectively.
Right.
Because if you don't cut that family tie when you have to, then family gets you. Because you let them in, right?
I'm the eldest of 6 kids.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Something about that.
Right on.
Yeah. But that's cool, man. A lot of nuggets. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are tuning in. Turn that volume up. We got knowledge right here.
Yeah, I'm like a transistor, man. And the information comes in, and I chop it up, store it wherever, and then I use it. I give it where I see fit. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it is a responsibility.
It is. It is a responsibility, and I take it. I take it on. I mean, I love what I do, man. I love it because just being able to change those people's perception of themselves, number one, but also change their approach to working out, change their approach to food, change their approach to a lot of things. And then that's really special, because a lot of parents can't get their kids to do certain things, right? So they'll say, "Hey, David, can you talk to them about this?" And I'm like, "I got it.
Yep.
I got it."
Yep.
And then I'll weave it into what we're talking about or what we're working on. And like, yo, if you're trying to make it to the next level, man, this is what you have to do.
Right.
And I kind of think that, what you're doing over here, you might want to tone that down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And you got to drink some more water, whatever it is that the parents want me to do, if it makes sense, right? Then I'll chop it up and I'll spit it out to where they can get it, and they can understand it. And when I see people get it, and I see people make it become part of their everyday, or how they move through this space, then that brings me joy too, right? Because it's not always about losing the weight or this and that. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's about that change, right? And I get a lot of these kids, puberty.
Yep.
When the thing, the voice is changing, and then getting the driver's license, and get a little boyfriend, a little girlfriend, I kind of help them navigate through that, and it's just a real special moment when I can tell when a kid, a young person, makes that connection with me, and they start listening. I mean, my daughter just missed, she's about to be 20 years old, man. So just seeing her come back to me now, because I've been trying to get her to work out for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And she came to me and said, Dad, can I work out? Can you train me? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that relationship between us now, it's a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have people graduate from high school every year for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
Right? And just seeing them mature.
Yep.
And they give me a little slice of their life, and then they'll listen to me when I share with them, and that means a whole lot to me. When they go to school and they send me a sweatshirt, Coach,
Yeah.
okay, man, I have stuff from 2003 still.
I think that what the title that you just said embodies all of that, and that's, to me, what you explained is a true coach, because that's how I view a coach.
Mm-hmm.
All of those mindsets and talents and mentorship, that's a true coach.
No.
Yeah.
I had an example after example, and before I left the house, I had an example.
Yeah.
So my brother's 15 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Vietnam when I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
He was in Vietnam, right? So he comes back and he's like, this is it.
Yeah.
And so I have that. My brother Mike, who was a middle school science math teacher, he was the first person in our immediate family that I can remember that went to a four-year university, went to Central Washington, and played football for them. And he comes back home like, hey, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right? And he's 9 years old, right? And then my cousin Gilbert Allen, he taught me. And my brothers, I got 7 brothers. So when I say my brother, it's not the same one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And my youngest brother, Calvin, who was a superstar athlete and a scholar.
Mm.
He was
Got it all.
Yeah.
It's always the youngest.
He got it all, man. I mean, this dude at Yale.
Yeah.
He got a full ride scholarship for the most part to Yale. And he left Seattle and went all the way to Connecticut to go to school, and that brought me joy. I'm like, that's my little brother, so that gives you a little confidence too. So I had a lot of mentors, right? A lot of things that I took from several people, and you're a sum total of all the people that you ever had a relationship with, right?
For sure.
And so my sum total comes from brothers and sisters and cousins and coaches and friends for 40 some odd years.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So I pride myself in being a stop on people's journey, and that will be memorable in their life. I always want to have an impact, right? Something that is like, Coach Timmons, right?
Yep.
But you got to be authentic with these folks.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, I feel like there's not a lot of people, coaches, who look for those opportunities as well. They're looking for a true connection to uplift someone, and I think that really makes a difference for a coach. Because I feel like I try to be that. I'm very young in my coaching career, but I try to connect first before growing. And it's not a popular approach.
No, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And that old saying, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up kind of thing. It's like, you try something with somebody and it doesn't work. You don't throw it away. You say, okay, well, let's pivot. Okay, well, let's pivot again. Okay. Thomas Edison said he didn't fail 10,000 times. He found out 10,000 ways that it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And so he went through 10,000 trials, and then that 10,001, rumor is that he made the light bulb.
Right.
So you just keep trying, man. Just keep trying. You keep digging, and you got to get yourself out of there. You just got to, you have to be selfless.
Yeah.
Right. Just got to go with them, man.
Well, I mean, with your vast amount of experience around the world. What does Oakland mean to you? I mean, from Oakland High to Cal Berkeley, what's different about here than everywhere else?
That's an interesting question that I have been um, pondering forever
Okay.
since I came down here because
Yeah.
all of my friends, most of my brothers and sisters are in Seattle. I came down here just to kind of hang out
Yeah.
with my dad, just to get reintroduced to him, and my brother, my older brother Junior. He had moved down here after he got out of the service for the most part, and I have some cousins, but I came down here just to kind of hang out, man, and I never went back.
Yeah.
I never went back to Seattle to live.
Yeah.
It's like send my stuff.
Yep.
I am, and Oakland grabbed me. Oakland got me, and I listen a lot. I'm a great listener, and just knowing about Oakland, and then my cousin would take me places, my brother would take me places, my cousin Pookie and Daphne, they would like take me around the 69th Street Ville. I don't know if you know about that, but they were in there just doing their thing. So I was on, I mean, every level, but I was just listening and listening. And Oakland just kind of grabbed me, and we have so much culture here. I found out about the Black Panthers.
Yep.
Over there, that's the first free lunch was over there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then the Oakland A's. My dad took me to a Monday night football game, and I was like, man, Oakland Raiders. You know, I was like, oh snap! I was a Seahawks fan. They had just started.
Yeah.
Like in 1977, 78, something like that, 76, 77, 78. And I come here in 79. I'm like, I'm Oakland.
Yeah.
Right. And then and you know, a lot of firsts happened for me down there in Oakland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
Oakland was, the weather was good, the food was good, the culture was good, the culture was great. It was just everything. And I used to sit down and go, why do I want to go back to Seattle? And I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I tell you, man, let's get on the bus, let's get on BART, let's go to Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf, oh man, I felt like I was in a different city or something, right? So now, then we're at the beach. Like, there are no beaches in Seattle that I want to go to,
Right.
that the weather will allow us to go to. And it was everything, man. I mean, the Mexican food, the soul food, Lady Esther's, you know, over there on 55th, and Flint barbecue. Get out of here. I'm like, man, so the food, the people, the little dance parties, we still was doing like the house parties and stuff like that. And man, it was just everything that stimulated me mentally. But just being part of like the Oakland Raiders fandom, and you know, the Oakland A's, and even the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Even the Warriors, because we used to sneak into the Warriors game or buy a ticket in the Warriors game. Yeah. So this is part of my story. He's very instrumental.
Yeah.
That's that brother right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he was the one that gave me my first pair of spikes.
Wow.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So where were we?
So we were talking about Oakland, and
Oh yeah.
I love your love for it and what kept you here.
Another thing if I can add this, just being totally honest, just being here in Oakland, walking down the street, seeing Black folks, just there's a company now called Authentically Black.
Yeah.
That was Oakland. That was Oakland. They called it Chocolate City. It was just good walking down the street. What's up, man? What's up? People speak back. But in Seattle, I'm not saying anything other than the way I interpreted the culture up there. It was a lot different. right? So when I got here, Oakland was more like a friend of mine, a long tenured friend of mine,
Yeah.
right? And I just felt welcomed here,
Yeah.
right? And it's there's something about representation. So when you see yourself walking down the street
Yep.
and there's no craziness going on, it's just it was everything for me, and it was something that was food to the soul.
Yep.
It was something that nourished me. It was something that I needed but didn't know that
Yeah.
I needed it.
Yeah.
And when you get it, you get it. You're like, oh,
Right.
oh, this is it,
Yeah.
right? So what made me stay? It was a multitude of things. But if I have to melt it down to one thing, it was just a culture, right? It was a culture, and just seeing brothers and sisters just doing their thing, man. And then I became part of that mix.
Yes, that's just man, that's just it. Just took me to a place. Yeah, you're good. Remember, wasn't there a? Do you remember books? They were like soul food or food for soul. There were some. God, when I was coming up, there were some books,
Oh, like actual books.
Like we used to get them at the little Scholastic Book Fair from time to time.
Oh.
And they were called. I forgot what the. Anyway, well, what you explained to me was me waking up and going outside to play basketball. Like it's that culture, that soul. Like you just don't get that anywhere else. And me being born and raised here too is just like, man, that sounds like home.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like home.
Yeah.
And that was I really appreciate the way that you described that. And shout out Oakland.
Oh yeah,
Shout out Oakland.
Oakland. You know, I have this shirt. One of my clients years ago. It was well before 2010. She bought me a shirt that says, "I hella love Oakland,"
Yes.
and it had a big red heart on it. I still have that shirt.
Yes.
Right, it's all tattered and stuff. I'm not gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right. But I had this idea. Nobody steal my idea. I'm gonna make a shirt that says, "I hella love old Oakland," because the climate here is changing, right?
Yeah,
So with the gentrification and all that, that's happening in every major city in this country. But man, just I love that old Oakland, man.
Yeah.
I love that old Oakland. And yeah, it's like old girlfriend.
Real quick question. Well, were you upset when Marshawn Lynch went to the Seattle Seahawks?
No.
No.
Because at the time I was still going back home just to visit my mom, my brothers and sisters, and nieces and nephews and stuff. I was going home 4 or 5 times a year because at the time I was working at FedEx.
Okay.
And so I would get these vouchers where I can fly for free. But also I still like Seattle, right? And knowing that Marshawn was from here, Oakland Tech, that was a tie, right? Even though he's in Seattle, the Seahawks were good because of Oakland, because of Marshawn, right? So you know, you make these like connections, right? So no, man, Marshawn, you know, he's Oakland. He's Oakland personified, right? He is. His mother went to Oakland Tech.
Yes, I do know.
And she ran track.
I mean, she will be there on Friday, right?
She ran track. So I would love to reintroduce myself to her. She was running, I believe, when I was there. I want to say. So what happened once I went to Cal, I went back to Oakland High and I was helping coach those guys up there, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Nate Wright and Jeffrey Lanes and all those guys, man, who went on to do some good things. Jeffrey Lanes, real cool brother, fast as all get out, went to USC. So I was still around Oakland track, Oakland High School track for a long time, and that might have been where I met her. But I remember seeing her at the track meet. Now, I don't know if I was coaching at the time or if I was, because I was still fresh and new. So a lot of that stuff kind of rings in together. But man, so she
Yo, I would love to get her and interview her. A lot of people don't know that she ran track.
yeah, oh no, and you know what? I'll tell you, Marshawn walks like her.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of like tippy toe running, just like a sprinter.
Yeah.
She was built for sprint. Quad, glutes, just strong and determined. Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So to tie this all in, I want to ask about the picture behind you.
Oh yeah,
the iconic.
Yeah.
Race.
Yeah, this is a great picture, man. And the picture, it moves, right? It's not a still shot for me, right? But I mean, I can look at it, and I know all these guys in here, right? So I'll tell you a funny story. So when I graduated Cal, I was still running afterwards. So I would work at the job, and then I would quit, and then I would travel, and then I would come back to the job. So I was at this place called Whole Earth Access, which is right down on 7th and Ashby. And I was selling like electronics or something like that, right? And this guy comes in, and I said, I know that guy from somewhere. Turns out that he was our equipment manager, right, at Cal.
Okay.
So you come in and put your clothes in the fishnet bag, and he'll wash them for you. And you need shoes or whatever, Dan will get it for you. So I'm like, yo, Dan, what's up? Like, Timmons, what's happening? You know, we're talking. I said, man, let me buy that for you on my discount.
Yeah.
Right? He bought an old system. I don't know, say a couple $100 or whatever. And he goes, man, is there anything I can do for you, Timmons? I was like, yo, man, you remember that picture that Irv Hunt, which is our coach?
Yeah.
I said, man, you remember that picture that was in Irv's office? He goes, no, it's in like storage, man. It's like it was in the Hall of Fame room for a minute.
Yeah.
And then they took it down and just kind of put it in the back. He goes, I can get that for you.
Ooh.
I said, damn, man, you get that for me, bro? If you get that for me, he got it. He brought it down to the gym. Yes, not the gym. He brought it down to my job.
There you go.
Yep. And went and I got it framed.
Dan the man.
Yeah. So that guy here, David Mack. Woo. At the time, I want to say Mack had the second or third fastest time in the 800 meters of all Americans ever.
Second.
Yep. It was like 1:43.80, something like that. And he's at the University of Oregon. And so he's a junior, I was freshman. And so the meet, my coach used to dope the meet, which is like, how many points are we going to score based on the time that people have already reached? So we were like, we had a chance if a couple of things happened, right? That were unexpected. A couple of things happened. Yeah. And it was like a really good movie, and the plot was like changing and developing as you went on, and the characters were going down, and some people were stepping up. Yeah. Our steeplechaser hit his knee on the water jump hurdle, split it open, so we didn't get his point. And there was a guy, Mike Montoya, from Mount Tamalpais High School. Mike came through and long jumped out of his mind and triple jumped out of his mind and scored some points. And then I think we swept the 400 hurdles. We got a third in the 200 that we weren't expected to get. We won the 200. Larry Cowling, amazing brother, amazing. So all this stuff was happening, man, and they were winning stuff that they weren't supposed to win, and it was crazy, right? Back and forth. And when you're in that type of meet, man, you're locked in. I mean, guys over there at the high jump pit, like, oh, come on, man, you can do this. You know, we pole vault. I hardly ever watched pole vault, but man, we was over there, come on, we got to go. And it was just a great meet to be part of. So then it comes down to the mile relay, right? And the coach was like, hey, we win this, we win the meet. And Cal, don't quote me, but I think Cal hadn't beaten Oregon since like 1910 or something like that. It was a long time. Oregon was just killing us. Because Oregon had distance runners and throwers.
Right.
And so they would score all the points there, right? And throw a couple of sprinters in, and they got you. Here comes the Maori, right? And man, as a freshman, people like, Timmons, you got this, you got this. I'm like, yeah, I got this. But there's that little tingle right here. It's like, do I have this? I don't know if I had it, right? And then there's David Mack just walking around. David Mack is cool, man. He's just walking around, just looking at me, and we're looking at each other, and we're cheering our runners on, and I'm like, man, that's David Mack. And then it started getting to my head.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh man, dang. So here comes Jim Spinella, this guy over here. He ended up being, I want to say, a Navy fighter pilot or something like that.
Okay.
Spinella ran an amazing leg. Lloyd Gus from Canada ran a crazy leg. Carl Bonner, I think Carl Bonner was on the team. Crazy leg, and then here comes me, right?
Yeah.
And man, I get the stick, and we're about 2 meters ahead, maybe, which is like a step, right? And David Mack is behind me. And I said, oh boy, so just run your race, girl. Yeah. Right? I took off, got the stick, ran the first turn. I said, if I can get to the 200-meter mark, I got this, right? Because the last part of the race was always where I did my damage, right? Yeah. So, man, I get to the 200-meter mark, and I said, man, where is he? Right? But I can hear this. I can hear it. We come off the last turn, we come by the steeplechase pit, jump the water jet, and you got about 150 meters to go when you hit that point, right? Yeah. And so when I hit that point, I did like an inventory check. I was like, okay, what do I have left? Is there any lactic acid buildup here or what, right? Do you still feel like you got? I said, yeah, man, I'm talking to myself, right? Yeah. When I come off that last turn, I'm like, I got this. But then I tell you, probably forgot. Now, the inside of the track is here. I see his stick. His stick is like, I said, he's right here. And then I see his arm. I'm like, oh no. I said, oh. I said, just relax. And then I seen him. I said, nah, you can't do this. I just dug down deep, and man, I caught up to him, and he didn't get far ahead. I mean, he was a couple inches ahead. But at that point, if my memory serves me right, I never got caught from behind.
Okay.
Like ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Could I have gotten caught before? Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't remember it. Right?
Yep.
So man, I'm like, man, I can't lose this. And we come down the last 20, 30 meters, and we're going step by step. And we're so close, I can feel it every once in a while. He would hit me. So man, I was like, man, I can't lose this. I can't lose this. And my coach, like, there's people screaming, right? I can always hear my coach's voice clear as day. It could be 10,000, 15,000 people, and my coach, Timmons, just loose and relaxed. And it's just loose and relaxed. So I just got loose and relaxed. Yep. And I took the lead, and we're running step for step. We get to the line, and we both fall across the line. I mean, fell on the ground, pop, right? I still got a little mark just on one of these arms. I scraped my hand up. I fell, and all these guys came and picked me up, right? And there's a guy named John Crumpacker who wrote for the Chronicle, right? Burly guy, scruffy, fisherman's hat, just with an old school pad and paper. He's like writing, and so he's coming up to me. He's like, "Timmons, how'd you do this?" Timmons, and I turned around. I was like, "Yeah." But that's the quintessential leaving it all on the track, right? Man, my guys picked me up, man, and man, we ran around that track with one whole lap, all of us, man. It was the best. And then this picture came out. And it was in the Daily Californian in our school newspaper. There you go. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, I made it. I made it, right? Man, this was just an amazing race, man. It was amazing.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Man, it's just reliving that moment and looking at that picture and having that to be in your possession,
Hmm.
that's a wonderful feeling as well.
Yeah,
There's so many athletes who don't get to keep those moments.
yeah, especially back then,
Yeah,
right? But now, you got iPhones and all that, right? But I used to have this at home,
okay.
right? And then when we opened the gym, and then I gotta bring it here and share it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it's a good conversation piece, man.
Yep.
Good conversation piece.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, I thank you for coming on here and sharing your story with me and sharing your story with the world.
Yes, yes.
I am really humbled to be in a position to be able to broadcast it.
Hey, I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful that people are still interested in things that happened, 40 years ago, right? But at that point, it was a defining moment in my life, right? I moved up a notch in the track and field world a little bit, especially around here, anyway.
For sure.
And it was good to be recognized for your hard work, right? So.
Well, I'm gonna keep it alive.
I appreciate
Everybody
you,
needs
man.
to know this.
I appreciate you.
Highlight this video. Everybody.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
David Timmons.
Hey. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, yes. Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you taking your time to come down here and set up and just give me an opportunity to kind of relive some things. So
yes, sir.
I greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I can't even believe the rich history that is just right here.
Man, there's so many brothers and sisters, man, athletes in this area, man, that put Oakland on the map.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us, and we hear a lot of like negative stuff about what's going on in the world. So your platform and how you're using it to conjure up some good feelings about the Bay, Oakland and the Bay, right? So I appreciate that. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
And yeah, keep it pushing, man.
Hey, I
keep
will.
it pushing.
Hey,
keep it pushing.
If you guys hear Ryan Johnson calling you from Athletic Conceptual Training, don't miss that phone call. We want to interview you and we want to talk to you. The world needs to know more about the Bay.
Yes, that's it.
So we'll see you on Friday for the Hall of Fame.
Man, I would not miss Noah's induction, man, for anything. Noah and I go back like way back. I think Noah might have been a freshman my senior year, maybe a sophomore. But Noah tells a story, and unfortunately, I didn't remember how he remembered it, but I was a player in that, right? So Oakland High went 1, 2, 3 in the 400, and Noah was in that 400-meter race, and it was casualty of war, right? I mean, we're beating Oakland Tech, and it wasn't we're beating Noah, we're beating Oakland Tech, right? And so Noah said to me, he goes, man, that was the defining moment in my life, in the sense that I saw you guys, running and winning and running fast times. He said, after that race, he goes, that's when he recommitted. He's like, I'm going to be good, and this is what I'm going to do. And I remember Noah kept in touch with me, right? And I'm so thankful, man, because he's going to get busy and whatever. But Noah always, whenever he's in town, it's like, hey, coach, what you doing? Hey, coach, man, I'm going to be at the P, my man. Why don't you come through? Hey, coach, I'm going to be over here. I'm like, no, bro. Yeah. So when he called me and said, yeah, man, I'm being inducted, I said, when? Where? Friday? Yep. Canceled. Yeah. I ain't doing nothing that Friday. I'll be there. Yeah.
I think to leave everybody with this, because I think this is a great tie-in point. When you see and you respect drive and hunger, you want to feed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Athletes in the world, if you're wondering what you need to do next, train, dedicate yourself to your craft, and don't ever give up. Stay hungry.
That's it. Stay hungry. Put your 10,000 hours in, man. They say you do 10,000 hours, you'll be an expert at whatever it is, right? But, effort, Ray Lewis said, effort is between you and you. Only you know how much effort you're putting out, you know. So yeah, never give it up, man. Never give up. Never give up. Because you're gonna feel so much better knowing that you put it all out there.
Yeah.
Versus like, I probably could have harder.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't reach the top.
That's right.
Well, no regrets.
Hey.
No regrets. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We out of here this
Appreciate
time for real.
Yes, yes. All right then, brother.
Like the preacher talking about, I'm gonna only be a minute.